Powerful. What obviously lots of people seek therapy um, surrounding issues in marriage. What is the most common mistake you see couples making in marriage?
Common mistake is well, it's really a deep self-centeredness, and practically it becomes a matter of wanting one's own self to be known more than wanting to know the other. And all we long for is to be known. We're made to be loved. And then we're bringing each to ourselves to each other at this most deepest, most intimate level, and feeling the terror of not being known by the other. And in subtle ways, that happens. And it takes this heroic act of courage to put that to the side and step out of that terror of the unknown to know the other. It takes an incredible act of the will. And it takes somebody like Christ giving us an example to follow and say, do this and follow me, because this is the way to life and to happiness. To have any reason to even believe that this is the right thing to do. Otherwise, this is insane. So to put oneself to the side like that and to enter in with the loving instead of just waiting to be loved is the way. And when that doesn't happen, it leads to disaster. Two people who are vulnerable to each other but only looking for their own needs to be filled creates division and disaster 100% of the time.
When couples come to therapy, how often have they waited too long to come?
Oh, every time.
Every time.
Every time.
What prevents them from coming sooner?
The stigma of therapy. I think people think of therapy as, if it's a necessary evil, it's not for us, but it's for other people. And there's not a culture of stewardship of our emotional and spiritual lives that is consistent with a fully integrated understanding of ourself. I mean, a lot of people don't even go to a physical checkup enough. But even those people who do, it's even less that will say, my spiritual, emotional life deserves a checkup as well. And so we end up in a situation where we only go to the doctor if we're really, really sick, if we really can't do it on our own anymore. And you only go to a psychologist or a psychotherapist when we're way beyond the point of reason. So, there's certain people out there that promote. I love listening to Terry Crews, and he's got a really beautiful marriage, and he struggled with pornography, and he talks about this stuff very openly and publicly. And what I love about his platform is that he talks about how it's healthy and natural, and it builds up his marriage to go to marriage therapy every year. And like they have like the best sex life, the best love life, the best intimacy, because they see their relationship as something that needs that outside help to continue to build up and work on. And that's what I think is an ideal way to look at it. And so we have to have that humility and that trust in the process to open up to that. Most people don't. They wait till it's all crumbling and on fire, and then they show up and they're like, go ahead, fix this. And a lot of times it takes a lot of work on both parts to be able to do something with that.
In our lives, if we want to be excellent at anything, we usually seek training, counsel, emulate the best in the field, look for best practices. Nothing more important in life than relationships. Why do we think we can do it without any of that?
It's, I think there's a lot of reasons. I don't think it's so simple. I think on one hand, there's a lot of hucksters out there. I think there's a lot of people just capitalizing on emotional difficulty, and people are trying to get help and they're not getting help. Their friends are trying to get help and their friends aren't getting help. So I think that there's something to be said for going back again to this idea of a blueprint. A lot of mental health doesn't have the right blueprint. So on one hand, it's just a really difficult process. And on the other, I think we have this illusion of self-sufficiency that we want to be able to take care of it ourselves. We know best. We're in control. That's the best way to protect ourselves if we are the one managing control over everything. And it takes a lot of vulnerability and humility to put ourselves out there for somebody else to help us.
How often is the problem that one person is willing to put themselves out there, but the other person is not in the same space?
In terms of a marital work?
Yeah, in a couple.
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much every time that's going to be the case. You know, usually there's so much defensiveness because of so much hurt. And it's one person that will sort of break open to that need first. And then the second person has a long way to go before they believe it's possible that they should drop their defenses, drop their guard, and even hope that this can be resolved. So it takes a lot of work, and you have to kind of navigate like which person needs the most attention right now, who to build up rapport and earn trust with first, or who's in most need, so that we can sort of go this way and then this way and like back and forth and figuring out who to work with and in what way to navigate that difficulty.